Hi guys and welcome back. If you watched my last video, which is you can see on my homepage here, you will see that it was taking you through 13 unsaturated invitation ideas within the overall invitation party niche. I did a deep dive here and uncovered some high demand, low competition niches. There was definitely some gold to be uncovered. So I'm actually going to link that video on this screen and also put the link down in the description below if you want to see exactly what we found. But I actually had a couple of requests to show you exactly how I would create one of these types of invitations. And so I am going to be doing that in this video today. So the type of invitation I'm going to be creating is the Forever a Princess niche. So it is aimed at young girls who are just turning 4. Most girls love anything princessy, mermaidy, and this Forever a Princess take on that 4th birthday celebration is one that I validated as untapped, high demand but low competition. Now, when we're looking on this first page quickly, we're seeing things such as bestsellers, bestseller badges, popular now badges. We're seeing a lot of those signals letting us know that people are actively searching for products within this niche. And if I just quickly show you a couple of these listings, you'll see what I mean. So we can see this one is a bestseller, Forever a Princess. It's got those princess vibes, pastel pinks, the castle, we've got golds, and just really lovely pastel color palette there. We can see that it is in 20 plus baskets and the price point is really good at £6.94. If you are based in the US, that's probably about $8. Fantastic for a single page printable, and it's a bestseller and in 20 plus baskets, so sales are definitely being made. If we look at the reviews, we can see several reviews here. Really great template, really easy to edit, uses a regular PDF or JPEG. So people are liking what they see, and this is letting us know sales are definitely being made. Moving on to this version, it is in 20 plus baskets as well, slightly lower price point, but still very healthy for the fact that it is just a single page printable. Moving on to this one, it's in 5 baskets. Again, that Forever a Princess slogan on the front of this invitation. And the thing is with this niche is people are actually being very specific with what it is they are looking for. They're not just looking for that fourth birthday. They're looking for something that embodies the princess niche, especially for 4-year-olds, which is why we're seeing these bestsellers here, because they are actually stating Forever a Princess. So with our design, we're definitely going to make sure we have these words, this phrase on it as well. So within the previous video, I also did some further research with a Etsy research tool called Sales Samurai, and it brought back some fantastic numbers. We saw the Etsy search volume, which is Etsy SV, of over 46,000 searches a month, which is crazy. We've got an Etsy click-through rate of 10.89%. I generally like to see anything above about 2%, so this is well above that. And the craziest, most insane thing is that there is only 407 listings that are competing within this niche, which is the craziest thing. So the combination of these numbers, this data, is definitely letting me know that this is high demand with over 46,000 monthly search volume. It is high click-through rate with over 10%, but it's low competition. I mean, in the hundreds. It is so rare that you will come across a product that has such high demand with such low competition. So this is a potential goldmine, which is why I'm going to show you exactly how you can create something similar in Canva. I will also show you how we make it editable. So please do follow along to be able to learn how to create something like this yourself. I will also be uploading my final design into my membership. So if you are part of the membership, which is here, if you just go to the link in the description, you'll get some information. It's a really super cheap $9 membership. You get several new products to use within your business each and every month. And there's also some training there, a training video that I upload every month as well. So be sure to have a little look. And if you want access to this invitation, then make sure you join up. So without further ado, let's jump into Canva now. Okay, so here we are over in Canva. I'm going to click create a design. We're going to click custom size, and we're going to change units to inches, and then we'll go with 5 inches in width by 7 inches in height, and then click create a design. 5 by 7 is the general kind of rule of thumb of a sizing for invitations. Now I'm just going to label that Forever a Princess invite. Okay, So now what I will start with is the framework for this template. So it's just the words to begin with, and then we'll start to pretty it up afterwards. So I'm just going to click T for text, and we will start with the forever wording first. So, oops, forever. So I want that on one line, and then I'm going to copy and paste that. And then I think on the next line, we will have a princess. I'm just going to make sure that they are centered. So I just clicked on them, went to position, and then checked the alignment here. They're both centered because, as you can see, it's not highlighted, so that's fine. So forever a princess. And then I'm going to copy this and paste again. And then, so I'm thinking that this phrase is going to go maybe in the middle or towards the top. And then down at the bottom is where the details are going to be. So please join us in celebrating. And I'm just going to make this smaller, center it up, copy and paste again. This is where the child's name will go. Savannah. And then I'm going to probably make that a bit bigger. So that's now centered. I'm going to copy and paste that again. I'm just clicking Control and C, that's to copy, and then Control V to paste. And then I'm going to put fourth birthday. I'm going to make that slightly bigger, make it centered. Bring it down a bit. And then I'm going to copy this one again because I kind of want that same sizing. And this is where the address is going to go. So I'm actually going to move all of these up a little bit. So I've just highlighted them all. I might even group them for now, just so that they are all in the right position in contrast, in comparison to each other. I'm going to do the same with this. I'm just highlighting it all and then grouping it just so that it's all together. And I can just move them all at the same time. Now I'm just going to add the details. So we would want the date and time. So let's say Saturday, 3rd of April at 2 p.m. We might want that to be a little bit smaller. And then I'm going to copy and paste that again. And then we'd have the address. I'm going to say Main Street. Princess Lane, and then we'd have, I guess, the postcode or the zip code or the state or whatever. I'm just going to put a random American zip code. I can't even think of any now. I'm actually just going to put in an English one, E14 3HY. I don't know where on earth that is, but yeah. You would just make sure that, I mean, it really doesn't matter what goes there because these sections are what are going to be editable. So we're going to make this an editable invite. And so the things that they'll be able to edit is the name and the address and the time, obviously the date and time. Lastly, we'd want to copy and paste again. And then we just want to say RSVP and then just put a number. So put 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Again, this bit will be editable too. Make sure it's in the center. Yep. And then I'm just going to just group all those again. So now we have all the kind of important details on our invite. What we want to then do is pretty it up by changing up the fonts, finding some really cute, maybe princessy or child-friendly fonts. Definitely make sure that the background, the theming is very princessy, pastel themes. We might even want to incorporate some imagery of a castle. We saw a lot of castles over on Etsy, or we might even just want a princess on there. I think a castle would be a better bet because it just appeals to everyone's niches. And if we maybe put a princess on there, it might not align with the look and feel of the child. Maybe if we put what I mean is that we might put a princess that has red hair, whereas the celebrant has blonde hair, and so we would just, maybe we want something that is a bit more ambiguous in that way. Okay, so now what I'm going to do is I'm just going to ungroup this, and we're going to just do some further resizing. So I think the forever needs to be quite big. So it's actually more so for our buyers on Etsy, so that they can see if they're looking for that forever. We want to make sure that they can see that our invite specifically hones on the fact that it is forever themed. So we want to make sure they can see it as they are scrolling through that first page on Etsy. So we're going to put forever, make sure that's big, and then we can make a princess slightly bigger, but not as big as that forever. We really want that forever to stand out. And then I'm going to ungroup this, because what I'm thinking is we might put the castle in the middle here. So I'm going to move this up. I'm just going to go to element, and I'm going to just find a castle, just any old castle at the moment, and then we will figure it out. But it's just so that I can get my spacing and my sizing okay. So we'll put that in the center. That's about how big I want the castle. So I'm just going to bring all of this down. All of these details can be made ever so slightly smaller. Make sure again they're centered in the center. This is good. You might want to make the name a bit bigger. And just make sure that everything is centered as it should be. Okay, so we've got our spacing and things okay there. Okay, so now I'm just going to go ahead and kind of create a really nice pastel themed background. So I'm going to go to elements. I am going to find, I think maybe clouds, pink clouds. Got to make sure that they are free, that the elements you're using are free. And so we've got some really nice pastel themed backgrounds here. We could also just go to all and then look at photos. There might be some nice photos that we could put in the background that are really pretty, that kind of give that cloud themed background. I might even go for a watercolor cloud. Ooh, that's pretty. And so I've clicked that. It's gone onto our canvas here. And then if we just right click and set image as background, I mean, that looks really pretty. And maybe it's a bit too deep in that pink coloring, but then you would go to transparency and you could reduce the transparency there. So that's an idea. I'm just going to remove that, detach that and remove it. Another one that we could use, this one's quite pretty as well. It's very colourful, but there's a lot of different options you could use. If we wanted to go for that kind of more cloudy background, we could use something like this, which is really pretty. So there are lots of options here. This is really pretty as well. So I'm going to go for this one. Let's set the image as background. I'm just going to make it a slightly bit more transparent there. That looks really nice. Now I'm going to go for watercolor clouds. Just add some additional clouds there. So we've got this one here, which is quite nice. What I'd want to do is reduce the transparency a little bit so it isn't too overbearing. Just make sure it's right in the back there. This one's quite a nice cloud. I actually quite like these clouds. So I'm going to delete that one and I'm going to just copy this one, copy that, and just put it right to the back. So that's really pretty. I really like these clouds. And just have a couple more. Send it to the back. Just to give that kind of floating in the clouds kind of feel. Just going to reduce the transparency slightly. So as you can see now, this is really coming together and I'm really liking the way it looks. There isn't going to be a lot more we want to do here because we don't want it to be too busy. We don't want it to take away from the fact it says forever. I mean, what we could possibly do is maybe introduce some sparkle or some stars. So let's see, watercolor stars or maybe sparkle. Okay, so these are quite pretty. This is quite nice. So, and it will be just ever so subtle. Ooh, I love the way that looks. I'm going to just zoom in so that you can see exactly what I'm doing here. So we just want maybe a couple of little stars around. And we might even want, maybe these stars would be quite nice. Yeah, I think these stars would be nicer because they're kind of, you know, quite twinkly. So I'm just going to copy that one and paste it down here. And then maybe copy and paste and bring this one up here. We don't want too many. We don't want too many. So zooming out again, you can see this is really taking shape. We actually don't have our castle yet. So I'm just going to type in because I don't really want this castle. I kind of do want a watercolor type castle if at all possible. And you've got to make sure that they're free. So let's have a look. This one could work. It isn't quite that watercolor look and feel that I'm going for, but it is pretty darn close. Let me keep scrolling. So we're going to go to magic recommendations here and see if there's anything else that we may have missed. I'm not quite seeing anything that is free. So this one will do nicely anyway, because actually the color scheme fits what we have here. I mean, I've gone for more of a pink and purpley pastel theming. And I think that's going to look quite good on that first page of Etsy because you're mostly seeing pinks and golds and things like that. So something that, you know, is going to catch someone's eye and maybe get them to stop because you're using a slightly different color palette. It's always good to just try and set yourself apart in that way. Okay, so I'm going to just bring this down a little. And now all there is to do is to change up our font scheme. So we want something that is quite whimsical. So you know what, now I've said whimsical, I'm just going to actually type in whimsical in this font and see if there's anything. Because sometimes if you type in the type of text you're looking for, the type of style you're looking for, it can then come back with something. It's not come up back with anything here. So what we might do is go to handwriting. In actual fact, I think I want more of a calligraphy type font. So I'm going to type in. And yeah, we've got some nice ones here. The only thing we want to make sure is that it is, you know, it's easy to read. So that's actually quite nice. Oof, but no, we can't quite read that forever very well. Okay, so let's look for another font. That's really pretty. That's lovely. Fonts are always my kryptonite personally. I always spend so much time and it's something that I really have to work on. So I'm just going to go with the first one that I think looks lovely, which is this one. And then we're going to now go for a more bold, but still quite sophisticated font for this, a princess. So let's see what we have. Maybe Alice. Yep, I think that gives off that kind of princessy vibe. Just going to make sure that's centered and this bit is centered. I'm going to make this castle ever so slightly smaller. And then I'm going to change all the rest of the font to the same one as this, which is Alice. So I'm just clicking here, going to this font, and then we're just going to choose that and then click change all. And in actual fact, we could change Savannah, the name, to the same font as this, because then it just lets it stick out even more. Bring down for birthday. Maybe even make that name slightly bigger. Make sure it's centered. And so now we would definitely want to change the color scheme of this so that it's not all black. So I have clicked this phrase that I want to change. And when you go over to the text color, it then recommends you different color schemes that are based on what it already is detecting from this particular design, which is really cool. You don't have to go with these suggestions, but if you go see all, it's just so that it maintains some consistency within the color palette. So we could choose something like that. I don't think that sticks out enough. We would definitely need something more bold. So I'm just gonna go through the colors. I definitely want something that is a deep pink. So I'm just going to go to this here, and then I'm just going to move it along. And then what we could do to make it stick out even more, we could add an effect. So we could add a shadow, and so we click shadow there. We could make it a black shadow. So as you can see now, just playing with the offset and the direction, it's allowing it to really pop off the page a lot more. And then for princess, I wonder if white would be nice. That might look quite nice if we put an effect on that as well. And so that really pops off the page, but not too much, but just enough that you can read it and it really looks quite elegant there. I mean, I'm having a thought about this font here. We could test maybe a couple more fonts that are maybe a bit more easy to read. But again, this is your own. I think that could actually do quite nicely. Let me know in the comments which font you think looks the best. It really sometimes is down to your own personal preferences. I mean, I do quite like this one, but if I'm thinking about someone who is scrolling on that first page, I really want them to not have to squint their eyes to read forever, if you know what I mean. So yeah, I think I might go with this one because you can really see that very well. And then I'm going to click change all, and then we would just position that where it needs to be. We could even make this a bit bigger now. And again, when I'm thinking about someone seeing this on the first page of Etsy, that you're definitely going to be able to read that. I'm all about making things super obvious because, when you are quickly looking for something and time is of the essence, you want to know exactly what you're getting as soon as you glance at it. For Ever a Princess, you're not, there's no confusion about what this is about. Just going to change the color palette ever so slightly. And then I'm going to make Savannah's name the same. And a really cool trick actually is if you want to apply the same type of typography, the same all the same stylings that you've added to a particular phrase or a word, then you just click over it like I am. You click this paintbrush style roller here, and it says copy style. You click that, and then you click whatever it is you want to change. And now, as you can see, it has not only changed the sizing, it's changed the color scheme, it's added the shadows to it and things like that. So it's just a really quick way of being able to make an amendment without having to go into all the different settings. So let me show you exactly that again. So I click that, click this roller, and then say I wanted to change 4th birthday. Now it's changed everything out for me. I don't actually want this change here, so I'm just going to change it back, but it was just to demonstrate. The last thing I might do is just copy this style, apply it to 4th birthday. Make Savannah even bigger. Make sure it's all centered again. Okay, so now we are backing up. We can see this is a really nice Forever a Princess styled themed invitation. And so now what I'm going to quickly show you is how you would then provide this to your end client, to your user. Okay, so this is an instructional document kind of template, and all it is just we're going to download this as a PDF, but not without. What we do is we would go to share, so we're invitation, go to share, we go to click see all, and I believe now there might be some changes that have happened within Canva, and now you can only create template links if you have a pro version of Canva. I would definitely recommend a pro version of Canva. It really doesn't cost very much compared to the amount of value you're getting. If you were trying to build a business, then the pro version is where you need to be. So that's my little soapbox moment there. But so we click template link here. We click create template link. We click copy. And then, so with this document here, it's just instructions. So it says, thank you for your order. Please click the link below to be taken to Canva where you can find access to your editable template. And here you would just put your branding. I've got my Learn with Roxy branding up here. And so this is just a button that is then hyperlinked to this particular Canva template. So you would so this would normally be blank. And then you would just paste that link that we got and click done. And so what that's going to do now is, so you would download this as a PDF, standard PDF, and then you would just go ahead and upload that. And so they would then download this. So they purchase your listing, download this, click here, it would open up this into a new screen. Now, let me just show you a quick trick. So because what we don't want them to do, or what we don't want other competitors to do possibly, is buy this and then come and use everything that you have and then pass it off as their own. So what we want our end user to do is only to be able to edit certain bits. And so the bits that we want them to be able to edit is the name and the address and that kind of thing. So in that instance, what I would do is I'm going to duplicate this page. I'm going to just remove the name and I'm going to remove all of those details there. And now what I'm going to do is I'm going to download this I'm going to download this second page as a PNG. I'm going to download that. And then I am going to re-upload it into Canva. I'm going to show you exactly what I mean. So now I'm re-uploading it. I'm going to just add a page here. I'm going to click here and I'm going to set image as background. And now all I'm going to do is I'm going to copy this, paste it there, and then copy all the address bits, paste it onto here. What that now means is everything else is uneditable. The only bits that are editable is this and this. And so that's a really cool trick, a really cool hack. And it's also to make it easier for your user so that they're not moving things around that don't need to be moved around or making mistakes or messing up the design that you've made. So now it just means that they can only edit this and this bit as well. So we have come to the end of this video. Remember, if you are a member of the membership over here, then you will get access to this particular invitation template. But in the meantime, hopefully you've been able to follow along and you've got some value from this. I would love to see any of your designs. If you have any questions, please do not hesitate to reach out. And if you would like a copy of this particular template, I mean, it's really easy to put together, but if you want a copy that you can just drag and drop your own kind of branding to the top there, then let me know in the comments. Just say yes, please. And I will send a link to this particular template to you. But yeah, that's it for today. And until next time, all the very best.